everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hello.
And, Nick, how's your week?
It was good. Just work. Oh, my voice is already cracking. But just work, and then we had a really fun time at Sophie and Josh's wedding.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, work kicked my butt this week.
Did it?
Yeah, because I didn't work yesterday because we went to the wedding.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want to have to drive and then drive back and be tired or whatever. But I still worked the same amount of hours just in a 4-day week.
Yeah, I hate when I do that to myself because I have to fit in the same workload that I always do, the same amount of client meetings and things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was it was a little rough at times. But Sophie's wedding brings us to our
shout out Sophie and Josh.
Our only shout out this week because people keep not commenting. And it's not happy. It's not making us happy. But anyway, please comment and we'll try to shout you out on here. But anyway, Sophie and Josh got married. Congratulations.
It was beautiful. So beautiful.
Do we have clapping? Do we have applause? Oh, here's applause.
Yay. I love celebrating any of our friends, but especially one that, we are so close to, and she's just so happy. And I just love seeing her happy.
It was a lot of fun. And they're going to be on with us next week.
Yeah, they're going to join us next week.
The hope is that they'll be on with us next week unless something else happens, but that's the plan. So
we're going to zoom in.
Have them talk about what it's like to be a newlywed couple.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. What their experience, because we had fun. I want to know what their experience was with the wedding.
Yeah.
Because you eloped.
Yeah.
To another country and only had 4 people at your wedding.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So I'm sure it was wonderful. But I want to know what the difference is between what you did.
We still had the reception when we got back, so I still got all the stress of the planning, the stress of families, and we didn't really get to eat or drink at all that night. And so by the end of the night, my foot was bleeding. I was dehydrated. So I still got that bridal experience that I think most people have. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited to hear about theirs.
It'll be interesting to hear what theirs is like.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? I just thought of another shout out.
What? Okay.
My grandpa said we have a very good radio show. Yes. I love him so much. Hi, Grandpa. If
Hi,
you
Grandpa.
listen or if I visit you and play this for you, hi, and I love you.
Did you try to explain to him
what a podcast is?
What the podcast is?
Yes.
Okay. How did it go?
I mean, it's basically a radio show.
It's basically a radio show. I mean, we're sitting here talking into a microphone.
Yeah.
It just isn't on the actual radio.
Yeah, it's just on your phone or an app. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but it's basically the same thing. So, okay. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So this week we decided. Last week we talked about paranormal, and we've always talked about how we don't follow any certain thing. We just kind of talk about whatever we want to, and it doesn't show more this from last week to this week than anything. Because this week we're talking about Legos.
Yeah, Legos.
And just the history and the pop culture impact that they've had over the years. But
because it's definitely extensive.
Yeah, and it's been around for a long time. Lego. So it started in the 30s.
Yeah.
As a toy company that made wooden toys.
And was it started in the United States or was it started in Denmark?
It's in Denmark. Yeah.
Okay.
It was started in Denmark. Mm-hmm. And it's stayed in Denmark. It's still the headquarters are still in Denmark.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the headquarters are still in Denmark. But it started as a woodworker who had some troubles with his business, it wasn't doing well. He decided to start making toys, and that kind of worked its way into other things. And that was in the early 30s that they started making toys.
Okay.
They made very high quality toys. And eventually when somebody came out with a machine that could mold things, they bought one. And they worked with that, and they talked about, they kind of did a bunch of different things. And in the 50s, they actually made the started making the bricks, the Lego bricks that we know
so what
today.
it is now. Yeah. Okay.
And that's when it kind of shifted into like they had building toys a little before then. They had building toys in the early 50s. But in the late 50s, in 1958, was when they came to the design that they still use today, because they realized that if you pull apart a Lego, it's got those 3 little holes in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And that holds it together better, because before it didn't have that.
Yeah.
So that's basically the design they still stick with today.
Okay. Interesting.
And then, of course, over the years, they've made tons of different things. They've made amusement parks. You can go visit theme parks. There's a theme park
like
next to the headquarters. Yeah, the first one is next to the headquarters in Billund, Denmark.
Oh, okay.
And that was a way to kind of like get people invested in it, and figure out kind of what they see what they could do with it, see what it could do. And it's just kind of grown over the years to be this massive corporation.
It's an empire now.
Yeah, basically. It's a huge company. They have several factories around the world.
Legolands.
They have several Legolands around
more
the world.
common than I thought. There's one in Kansas City. I'm sure there's one in St. Louis, maybe.
Is there
Chicago.
one in Kansas City? I didn't know there was one in Kansas City.
Yeah, Union Station. There's pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
At least there's something Lego there.
Something
That's
Lego
big.
there. Okay.
I think one of my cousins just went to visit there with my aunt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's they've got tons of different things, and they've built they've had like a couple hundred different categories that they build in Legos, like different schemes, like space, castle. They've got several different
I like the castle.
They've got several different
I want to live in a castle.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So on that point, before I go on, if you want to live in a castle, would you want to go live in a castle somewhere else, or would you want to bring the castle here to the States?
Okay, so we've kind of talked about this before. Like, if we didn't have family or anything near that, makes us stay here. Not makes us, we choose to stay here. But, if there were no other external factors, I'd want to live elsewhere. Yeah, I don't want to stay in Missouri just for the funsies of it.
I'm just not even saying Missouri, just in the U.S.
I feel like if it could be in the Pacific Northwest or in the Appalachian Mountains. And that's it. Otherwise, I'd want to go to
You'd want to go to Scotland. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on to Lego. Yeah, they have different systems that you can do now too. It's not just the main system builds. Technic is a big one that they have a lot of vehicle stuff. It's a lot of building. They have all sorts of power functions now, lighting functions now. They just recently came out with the latest.
Do you mean like how these will run?
Yeah, those will run around. Power? Yeah, so those little trains, which are some of my favorite Lego things behind Nikki.
Can I hold one up?
Yeah. So cool. Those are they're all.
Oh my god! It's got a person in it.
Yeah, there's a minifigure in it.
I didn't see it.
There's a mini. Is
there any of the others?
I think there might be one in the big Santa Fe one. There was Mickey Mouse in the Disney one, and I can't tell if he's in there. Or not. Yeah. There's
a little person.
Yeah, and if you take the top off, you might be able to see what it looks like inside. There's usually details inside of it too.
Oh my gosh! I'll hold it up.
Yeah, those are all electrified, so you can
actually put them on.
You can put them on a train, on a special Lego train track, and they will run around the train track. And most of them have cars that go with them. Yeah. And then you just run them around a train track, just like a normal train set.
Is the train track also Lego, or is it just like a normal plastic train track?
So it has Lego studs for like the cross ties, like the ties that run across it. But it doesn't. It's still just a track. Yeah. Okay. So it's not. It is technically Lego, yes, because you can attach it to a Lego thing, but it's not anything.
It's not like bricks.
No.
Okay.
No, it runs on a thin little rail. Okay. Those ones are all older. Well, 3 of them are. That Disney steam engine, the Disney one. Yeah. It is a newer one that has a battery-powered thing. All the old ones ran on an electrified track.
Yeah.
And they've updated that. So the new ones don't have an electrified track. They just run
Interesting.
they have a power pack in them that pushes them along.
Cool.
But those are some of my favorite things, besides the castle, which is a little too big to move from where it sits.
You can post a picture of it, though.
Yeah, I took a picture of it this morning. So,
okay, cool.
But yeah, Lego has been around for a long time. They make, they've got a lot of stores around the world, and they make a lot of cool and fun sets. And I just enjoy. I think it's just something fun.
It is fun. I like building different things.
And that's something else that it does is it gives you. It's different than any other toy because you actually build the toy.
Yeah.
And you can. I mean, if you just have the Legos, you can build whatever you want to.
Yeah. Which is what my brother and I had growing up was just, basically like
the bricks. Yeah.
We would just build houses and schools and things. Yeah.
And that's part of the fun is just being able to do whatever you want to with it. It doesn't.
I wonder if that's like if it also helps like development, because I feel like I did learn, okay, to build a house you have to have these supports, and I don't know if that's really like advanced or anything, but I'm sure it does help development of children's brains and realizing how things work together, and I don't know, or I could just be saying totally BS, but
I mean, I'm sure it does though. Like to a certain extent, I'm sure it does because
we always had Lincoln Logs too. Those were the other like, building toy we had.
I had Connects too. Was another big one that I had.
I think Nathan had those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I ever played with them though. But what I remember from Lego growing up was the games and the movies. Because like we had the Lego toys, but we had the Wii. And we had Lego Star Wars and Lego Indiana Jones. And the Indiana Jones I played constantly. Like that was such a good game.
Okay.
Especially on the Wii, because we'd both be up and doing things, and yeah, that was super fun. So that's like the Lego things that I remember most from my childhood.
So I never played the Lego games, and I've only seen a couple of the Lego movies.
Yeah.
Because the Lego movies are kind of meant to be a comedy. Like, they're a comedy version of whatever they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the original Lego movie, and then there's, like, the Batman ones and other things like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a comical, satirical, like, Batman. What made the game Lego versus...
Everything in it was Lego. So you'd be, like, the characters were Lego, like, the villains were Lego, all the objects were Lego, so you'd have to, like, break things, and they would break apart like Legos, like... on the pedestal where he goes and like replaces the, whatever he's picking up with the sandbag or whatever. Like it's just all Lego and it's cool.
Okay, so it's not really different than any other game. It's just that everything looks like Legos.
Yeah, and it was just fun because there were comedy, pieces. I mean, Indiana Jones has comedy moments for relief anyway, but the games have it too, and it was just always really fun to play.
Okay.
That, and we didn't play the Star Wars one as much, but it was the same way. Like the lightsabers, when you like killed someone, like they split apart like Lego pieces. Pieces. Yeah. So it's just really fun games.
Okay. I'm surprised that you didn't play the Star Wars one more.
I know. I would be too. I think the Indiana Jones one, the like quests and things were just like the storyline
was more interesting or more.
Yeah, and it went a little quicker because there's like, a million Star Wars movies versus Indiana Jones. There's a couple, but each game is like you follow the storyline.
Yeah.
So I think it just goes a little quicker. Like it keeps your attention more.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it was also just really fun.
Yeah. I never was a huge gamer. Like I had some video games and consoles and a couple of them, but I never was really big into video games.
Wasn't huge either. But it was like when we got TV and game time, after we've done our, homework and whatever. It wasn't like a super long time, but we would play games together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is you said Indiana Jones and the, what was the other one?
Star Wars?
No, your favorite ones? Indiana Jones and what was the other one you said?
The games?
Yeah. Was it Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite movie? Lego movie?
So I haven't seen a ton. I've seen more of like they have like shorts, I guess, or like short films.
Okay.
And so they have some Star Wars ones that aren't like movies. They're more like episodes, I think. So I remember watching those. I feel like the only actual movie I've seen was the 2014 Lego movie.
The Lego movie?
The first, yeah.
Okay.
That was in theaters.
Okay. I don't even know that I've seen that one.
Really?
I've seen the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've seen clips of it, I think.
And it was funny. Like, it was a lot of fun.
Because the clips I've seen, was like comedic.
Yeah. It's like a comedy thing, which the little minifigs, the little people, they have Batmans of them. Like, and they have tons of them that they've come out with over the years.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I can, they've got like Batman dressed in a pink fairy costume with a tutu, and they've got Batman dressed in a beach costume with a duck floaty, and he's got like bat like little eye covers.
Yeah.
So like there's a bunch of random like.
And I know that, so when I looked up how many movies and games there were, I didn't even realize how many there were. Like, there were
tons.
22 games because there's Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And then the movies are even more extensive. I mean, there's hundreds because if you include like the shorts and things like that too. But there were like Scooby-Doo ones, which for Scooby-Doo, nothing will ever beat the movie, the Spooky Island movie. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, the live action one.
So good.
See,
so good. If I was a billionaire, I would open Spooky Island.
Yeah,
it'd be so fun.
I liked that. It was fine. I still prefer the old cartoons.
Oh, I like the old cartoons too, but all the movies and things around that franchise, that's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I really like the old cartoons that had why can't I think of what it is? Like the celebrities in them, like where they had celebrity guests. Like the Harlem Globetrotters were in a couple of them, and Don Knotts was in a couple of them. And it was just kind of like Scooby Doo meets this person. And I always liked those ones a lot.
I feel like there were a lot of crossovers in like the 80s and 90s, way more, and even early 2000s than there are now. Yeah. Like of anything, TV, movies, games, like everything.
But I always, Scooby-Doo was always a fun one. I didn't know Lego did any Scooby-Doo, so that's...
Yeah, there were a couple, I don't have it pulled up anymore, but there were a couple Lego Scooby-Doo movies, and I think some like short films and stuff too. And then there were a lot of like Star Wars specials.
They had a whole like Scooby-Doo line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't seen any of them, but it's just, I don't know that I'll ever probably watch them because the Spooky Island is just top tier for me. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I didn't know they had a whole Scooby-Doo line, but that's...
You know what? I take back my answer. When you asked where I wanted to put my castle, I want to put my castle in the middle of Spooky Island.
In the middle of Spooky Island? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's going to be like the centerpiece, but that's where you live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like Disney World, but you just live in the castle.
Basically.
It's a spooky castle.
It's just my theme. Castle. Yeah.
Okay. That's fun. Yeah. I get that. You can buy an island. When we went on, you can usually buy islands in like the Caribbean off of the bigger islands. They'll have like little like
Kevin, I have like $10. No, actually, I take that back because I gave you gas money.
It's gonna take you a little while.
I have $0.
It's gonna take you a little while to get there. It might take you a little while to get there, but you know they do. So you can buy an island. Oh, here you go. On eBay, they have the full lineup of Scooby-Doo minifigs. So the Scooby-Doo minifigs and some of the villains. Mm-hmm. It's currently listed for $380.
Oh my gosh.
Minifigs are like some of the old minifigs
like
that are like
type things
that aren't made anymore because they retire stuff. It's only out for like a year or two and then it goes away. Mm-hmm. And some of those old ones can get like high dollar, like very high dollar. Mm-hmm. But
Interesting.
I didn't know they made a Scooby-Doo set. That's kind of fun.
There were a ton of I mean, DC, like there's just so many different.
They still do a lot of DC.
lines.
They do a lot of Harry Potter. They do a lot of
Which
Disney.
I was never a Harry Potter girly, but I remember seeing that game. I just don't think we ever bought it because we wanted the Star Wars and Indiana Jones instead.
Yeah.
But because they all came out around the same time, I feel like, especially for like Wii and
that would make
some
sense.
of the new consoles.
Yeah, that would
new
make
consoles
sense.
for the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, was there anything else that was like in pop culture that stuck out to you about it?
Not
like,
for Lego, but it did get me on like not a rabbit hole. I didn't really look at it that hard, but it got me thinking about other like nostalgic toys. And so different things like the Dream Life games. I know my nostalgia is going to be different than your nostalgia. We're only a couple years apart, but like I remember playing like Barbie, Dream Life, like so many different things like that.
Yeah.
So what, like when you think of nostalgic toys from your childhood, what do you think of besides Lego?
I played with a lot of trains.
Okay.
So any like electric train set is kind of nostalgic to me, and I still would play with a ton of them if I had the space to set them up and run them.
I do think they're really cool.
Obviously, like, I have a ton of the Lego trains. Yeah. Like this is just a small fraction of the ones that I actually have.
Yeah.
Legos were a big one. Any type of train was a big one. Those are probably the main ones. I mean, we had some, the construction toys, like the Tonka toys, the big construction toys. But yeah, that's the main ones that I can think of.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
We had a lot of Polly Pockets, Barbies, Bratz, American Girl dolls.
Okay.
That was my main thing growing up. I had so many of like the regular dolls and the mini dolls. I had all the books.
Okay.
I was very much, history oriented as you know. And so that was what I was doing most of the time, was getting different outfits and, braiding their hair. And I would try to find like all the little accessories. Like with the Felicity doll, you could also have her horse. And
Okay.
So that was like, I think my main, when I still think of like my childhood toys, I think that was like my favorites.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little different than
So my American Girl dolls is your trains.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I have several train sets, and I do love train sets. I wish I had the space to put them up. We had one that went around our pool at one point, like an outdoor train, that went kind of around the area.
Cool.
And it's the track is gone because it was old.
Yeah.
But the train is I still have the train engine.
Oh, really?
And it's like, they're
big.
like 3 feet. Like the engine is like 3 feet long, or 2 or 3 feet long, and
so
each
it's
of
a
the
massive
cars
thing.
is that size too. So it's like the largest scale train that you can get without like a ride on, like one of the bigger ones. But
I think the only train set I remember having growing up, and this is like a very vague memory. We had one that went around the Christmas tree at Christmas time.
yeah.
But I don't remember. Maybe my dad had trains downstairs. It's like I'm trying to recall memories and I can't. But that was the only one I feel like I really remember.
You can get a little plastic train at Christmas time that goes around the tree for like $20. So they make
and that's
those.
probably what they did.
And we had those.
My mom probably used her Walmart discount.
Yeah. We had a couple of those when I was a little kid. That's actually my grandpa every year used to set up a Christmas village.
Oh, really?
And it slowly got bigger. Like it started when I was a little kid. It was on like a table, like it was on a tabletop, and it had one of those little toy plastic trains that went around it.
Yeah.
And eventually, before he moved into his apartment now, since they're a little bit older and didn't have the capability to like keep their house, his house had a full room that was designated to this Christmas village.
Really?
And it was houses, like the walls had been painted to look like a Christmas scene. The floor had been painted to look like a Christmas scene. It had like fake snow, and the whole floor was covered, and then there was 2 levels above it that also had Christmas houses on them.
That's wild.
And they're those porcelain ones that light up.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff with that.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that was we did have, and he had a big electric train that went through that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still like like everybody likes toys. I still like trains and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't set them up because I don't have the space. But Legos are another thing too, that it's just something you can sit down and build.
Yeah, and it's a fun hobby.
Yeah, and they make them. They make some cool sets for adults too. Like they make big sets. One of the sets that I want is the Titanic.
Yeah, that'd be really
it's
cool.
a model of the Titanic. It's like 5 feet long. Like it's enormous.
I don't think you have room on your shelves.
I'd have to figure out where to put it.
It's going to be like on top of the TV or something.
Probably. It's going to have to be somewhere next to the TV is where it's probably going to have to go if I ever get it.
Yeah, that would be a cool
like
one.
$800, which is not cheap.
Massive.
Crazy. And the other one that I want is I have this Lego castle, which we talked about, the Disney castle, which we talked about earlier. So the problem is I want that again because they changed it.
Oh, really?
This one is no longer made.
Oh,
because it's not the right color.
It's not?
A few years ago, they repainted the castle, so they stopped making this one, and they make the new one now. It has the new paint job.
That is ridiculous.
Which is a problem. And I'm sure it's part of Lego's like contract with Disney, like, hey, we updated the castle, you have to update this.
Yeah.
But it's now.
So what changed when they repainted it?
So it's like, we'll show up a picture so you can actually see it. But the top is like a tan color.
Okay.
And the bottom is gray, right?
Yeah.
So the new color of the castle and the turrets are like a dark blue. The new color of the castle, that tan part is like a light pink.
Oh, okay.
The gray is more of a bluish color, a bluish gray color,
Gotcha.
and the blue on the turrets has become more vibrant blue.
Interesting.
So it's not as dark of a blue. So they made it to look more princessy. Basically, is what they did.
Love that.
Yeah, they some people don't like it because they don't think it looks like the original, which I get, but it is what it is. So, but yes, because they did that, Disney or Lego made a new one which matches the new colors. Gotcha. So now I don't have I like
the
that
right
one. It's
yeah.
pretty.
Oh, it's very pretty.
I like it, and the back of it's open and it's got stuff in the back of it. But I want now the new one too.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Which is just fun. Yeah. Sure, we'll go with fun. That works. But
we did also take a little quiz.
Yeah, we did.
Which iconic 90s toy are you?
Yes.
So I got an Easy Bake Oven.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Tracks.
Did you have an Easy Bake Oven as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I sat there and watched that
light bulb, the light bulb,
bake,
whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does it say for an Easy Bake Oven? Like, what's the description?
Yeah, the description. And honestly, this tracks too. You're a relentless creative that only wants to make the world a warmer, happier, and kinder place. You've never been one to care about being edgy, and you know that being good to others and opening yourself up is the most rewarding path. So how they got that from Easy Bake Oven, I don't know, but it does track.
I guess it's more. It seems like more of a personality than it is like.
Yeah.
This is what you'd like to play with.
But I did love to play with it though, because I love food, as we all know.
I mean, I get that.
So
I never had an Easy Bake Oven. I think one of my friends or cousins did. I think I played with one at one point, but I didn't have it myself. So I got a toy that I never had.
Okay.
I got a Talk Boy,
What's
what
that?
it said it was. So you remember Home Alone?
Yeah.
It's Home Alone 2. You know the little recorder thing that he played with in Home Alone 2?
Okay.
That's a Talk Boy.
Gotcha.
So it says here, it doesn't have the whole thing because I didn't copy it right. It says you're the beloved voice recorder. You're a fantastic listener and can get along with a group of people. You value words and communication above all else, but you're also not above pulling a casual prank. So that's
that also makes sense.
Yeah. And I guess there's more to it, but I guess I didn't like expand it to see what it said. So that's all I got.
But that part makes sense. That completely makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, you listen to me talk about everything that makes no sense, so you're good at listening to that.
Yeah. So
you also like the occasional joke and prank. So
because
that also makes sense.
If you can't make jokes and pranks, then what are you gonna do? Like that's not. It's just if you can't laugh at yourself too, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like anyway, I think that unless you had anything else, I think it's time for facts. Yeah. But anyway, so we've talked about this in the past. I always like to come up with a fact that goes along with our stuff.
So this week I did good.
Okay.
Unlike last week where we went to the cemetery and then my fact was about Abraham Lincoln, this week my fact is about a toy or like a childhood thing.
What is your fact?
Okay, so my fun fact, silly putty was discovered during World War II. Engineers in search of a synthetic rubber compound stumbled upon what is now silly putty, a stretchy and bouncy toy material that became a beloved novelty item. Now, this was from facts.com, so
I mean,
I'm assuming it's true.
Tons of facts out there that just kind of pop
Don't
up from
quote
all over
me
the place.
about silly putty. But
So this one's from the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. Is where my fact comes from.
Ooh, fancy.
So it's specifically Lego.
Okay.
So it says on average, every person on Earth owns 86 Lego bricks.
That kind of makes sense.
So like, there's probably people that don't own any, but I own several thousand.
Yeah.
So, it's gonna make up for it. Because I don't. I mean, if you have a kid, you probably have just random bricks laying in your sofa somewhere too.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, there was 47 or 45.7 Lego bricks produced, which is a rate of 5.2 million an hour.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of Legos.
That's a lot of Legos.
That's a lot of Legos. And
Awesome.
Lot of Legos around the world.
Yeah.
Don't leave them on the floor because they will
They hurt.
They hurt really bad if you
Yeah,
step on them.
in 90s terms, that's so not totally rad.
16,
They hurt a lot.
16 trillion Lego bricks are molded
That's so
every
much.
year.
Yeah. That's one of those numbers that you can't even visualize. Like, I don't even really know what that means in practical terms.
No, sorry, that's billion. 16 billion is what this says.
Still. You know how they say, like...
33,000 a minute.
Okay, that makes... That I can visualize more. But you know how they say, like...
numbers that are so big that you can't understand,
Like, when they talk about Oprah's salary, but then they break it down to, like, per minute, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, that you can visualize, and that is insane.
Yeah, what is, so the easiest way that I've found before to do this is...
Is it the grains of rice?
No, it is, time, because people understand time a little bit. So, hold on, because I got to find it again.
Yeah, it's just, I've seen the ones where they say, like, here's Elon Musk's salary in grains of rice, and here's the normal average American. Not
so
great.
So billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a large number. Most people can't comprehend.
Yeah, you can't visualize that.
You can't visualize a billion. But a billion seconds. So you got, we've gone for now several hundred seconds.
Yeah.
Several thousand seconds. During this podcast. A billion seconds is almost 32 years ago.
Yeah, that's weird when you put it in a timeline like that.
Yeah. Because that's, like, a second isn't that much time.
Yeah.
But a year is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 31 years that's older than you. So you're not even a billion seconds old yet.
Yeah. Whoa, that's weird.
I'm a little bit over a billion.
Just a little.
A couple,
Yeah.
100,000 seconds over a billion seconds old.
That is weird. That makes it a little bit easier to picture. Yeah, because when you just say, a billion, a trillion, it's like, what really is that?
Oh, yeah.
Like when people talk about the national debt, I'm like, that's just such
so
a
many
big number.
Trillions of dollars. Yeah.
It doesn't even, you can't even, I wonder what that is broken down like per person.
Oh, there's no telling.
Yeah. But I feel like that would make it easier to visualize.
See, a trillion seconds. A trillion seconds is 31,709 years, which is like,
oh my god,
also not comprehensible. Like,
yeah,
that's another number that it's like,
that.
That puts us before any like known
any
civilization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
it was just bugs and fish on the earth at that point.
Yeah,
probably.
that's.
I don't really know how evolution works very well. I was never a science person, so.
Yeah. So that's
interesting,
that's
though.
Just such a big number.
It is. It's a massive number.
But
crazy. Well, do you have anything else about Legos or anything else?
So. I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Lego sets.
Thanks for joining us on our toy journey.
Yeah. Next week we're going to have Josh and Sophie on after their big day, so that'll be fun. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
Please.
Comment, text us, whatever. Tell us how we're doing and what you want us to talk about.
Yeah. Because we're running out of ideas.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Well, I mean, open and honest around here, Nick. Come on. Anyway, so don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.